Welcome everybody to the newest episode of the Zero Budget Podcast live. We're live again. Live on Twitch. We're live.
We're live.
I, of course, am your host, Juptej Singh. With me, as always, is my co-host, Matthew Hanks. Matthew, how you doing, buddy?
You know, I woke up this morning to a very pleasant surprise. Do you want to know what that surprise was, Jup?
Yeah, sure. Hit me with it. What was that surprise?
Georgia flipped for Biden. And then soon
Woo!
to be Pennsylvania.
Woo, woo, woo! Let's fucking go, dude. We were on live last night until like 2 a.m, and
Yeah.
I kept like refreshing the page hoping that something would happen, and it happened like an hour after we got off live.
Yeah, I saw that you tweeted about it at like
Yeah.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
I went to work. One of the good things about working at a gym is that there's a bunch of TV screens. So 3 of them were like playing CNN. So it was weird because for like literally an hour, they were like, we're about to hear about more results from Philadelphia any moment now for an hour. And it was just a Wolf Blitzer for an hour talking about how they're going to hear results from Philadelphia.
Yeah, CNN's been like stressed for the past week.
They've been on like they need something.
Yeah,
Anyways.
great analysis. Wonderful analysis, Matt. So is this the official projection or like by AP, or is this
Depends. This is the AP projection. AP and Fox usually have the same projection because I think Fox just gets their numbers from AP. New York Times actually just the vote has slowed in crawl key states, leaving Biden tantalizing close to 270 electoral vote with a clear sense when he might reach that number. I feel like he already has. And do you know who else feels like he has reached that number?
Who?
The Decision Desk HQ, which is associated with, I think, Business Insider.
Oh, wow.
They have called Pennsylvania, and then thus they called the election.
Yeah, so that's fucking GG's.
Yeah. I guess they believe Pennsylvania is just too out far of reach, which makes sense. I mean, all the mail ballots, even from like Trump counties in Pennsylvania, overwhelmingly are going for Biden. So,
yeah, it's almost as if when you delegitimize an institution specifically to your base, the other base will take advantage of that institution.
Yeah. Georgia, we're not going to hear about until probably late November. And that's because they have to do official recount because it's like less than a percentage point.
Yeah.
And apparently there's some overseas ballots that need to be counted. More ballots in Pennsylvania, especially from Philadelphia. There's 40,000 actually left in Philadelphia alone. But they either have to be like fixed or like there's like an issue with them. They're military ballots or something like that, or provisional ballots. Probably still going to be heavily Biden regardless. Same with Pittsburgh and basically everywhere else in Pennsylvania. Biden won. Let me go into a different map where it's a bit more clear.
People in chat are saying that it's crazy that they still won't call Arizona. Like, if I'm not mistaken, they called Arizona and then they uncalled it, right?
No one. The only people that have called Arizona are Fox and AP, and they have not uncalled it yet. I mean, I'll give Fox one thing. They're pretty good when it comes to projections and stuff, and they don't tend to back down. But yeah, Biden won the bellwether county of Erie in Pennsylvania. Every president who's won for the past bit now has won Erie County, even Trump. And Biden is actually really blew up.
Shut the fuck
up. These counties over here. All these counties were actually red just like 2 days ago. Now they're all at least lightly blue. So, yeah, I feel like personally Pennsylvania is even a done deal. I think even somewhere in this New York Times update column thingy, they even said the same thing. Why they're not calling it, I don't know. That's a Decision Desk decision. Oh.
What's up? What's up? Why did you
he got a bigger lead in Nevada. He's about to be 2 points ahead in Nevada.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember earlier when I checked, Trump had like tightened up the lead a bit.
Yeah. He's tightening up the lead in Arizona, but a lot of experts believe he will not. Trump is basically not winning enough of the votes right now from Phoenix. So he needs to win like 60. He's only getting like 51.
Mm-hmm.
So also we now know the official margin. It's 0.08 of a point.
Jeez.
So I kind of
you talked earlier a little bit about like recounts, right? What do you
yes.
think the likelihood is that in all of these battleground states and all like the fucking Nevada, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, or maybe not Michigan, but Wisconsin, that he's
Wisconsin.
gonna call like he's either gonna call a recount or he's just gonna litigate like
So
heavily.
Here's litigations so far have not worked. He tried a litigation suit in Michigan. It got thrown out instantly. Wisconsin.
What kind of litigation has he tried? Like, what has he tried to sue them for?
I didn't read too much into it, admittedly. So, but I imagine it's a litigation of something about the mail-in ballots probably not being like legal, and so they have to be thrown out. Michigan threw that way instantly. They just did not care. Same thing I think with Nevada as well. A lot of Trump suits right now are getting just instantly like thrown out or just like getting half measures for Trump. But when it comes to recounts, Georgia's automatically going to recount. Obviously, it's 0.08 of a point between them, so that makes sense. But places like Wisconsin, he barely didn't make the threshold for a recount, which is a half a point, because Biden lead is 0.6 of a point. Yeah, according to New York Times, it's 0.6, which is just above the recount threshold. So basically, what Wisconsin told Trump is like, yeah, if you want to do a recount, you have to pay us $3 million to do the recount. And last time he did a recount in Wisconsin, he got 100 votes in 2016. So, like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's going to sway much.
Yeah.
The only place a recount may sway is Georgia. But even then, fun enough, in this New York Times update column thingy, they mentioned that the only way realistically Trump could win in Georgia is if there's a big tabulation error, which they say is unlikely.
How long do you think a recount would take?
Probably till late November.
Really? That long?
Maybe not late November, but it's definitely not going to be out till at earliest next week.
There's still a lot of states that have even been called that aren't at 100 yet, right? Oh fuck! California isn't even at 100. California is at 66.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Biden's up by 4 million.
Yeah, no, yeah, we know, like we know about these, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
the election actually takes a lot longer than everybody thinks it takes.
Yeah,
it's just we can, like, states like California, states like Texas, we can pretty much assume. You know what I mean? Like that's all the calling means.
So generally, New York Times, ABC, and CNN are following the same projection. So as soon as they call Pennsylvania, which honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if they call tonight after Biden's possible victory speech. But I don't know. That then I feel like the fucking QAnon people are gonna like be like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I feel like they should have called Pennsylvania before Biden is about to give his victory speech.
Yeah. That's another actually really important thing to note is like a lot of like what has been called in the past or even in this election is just the media reporting on the election, right? Like the election isn't done until it's done officially. So like we can project, and that's what these news outlets are doing, that like say Joe Biden is going to win California or he's going to win Virginia or something like that. But officially the election has never ever been done on night one. It's just been called. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, like, they have technically until like December 17th, I think, is when the Electoral College meets to certify and notarize all their votes and stuff. So really, Trump has about like a month to get his lawsuits in. And right now, I mean, it's not looking great for his legal team. I saw on ABC they got a lawyer on. I'm not sure who. I joined halfway through the live stream, but the lawyer was just kind of like, yeah, there's no coherent legal strategy because in some states they're saying this thing, but in other states they're saying this thing. So he was like, if they bring it to the Supreme Court and make it like in question why his message is all over the place. And then also,
it seems like his big strategy here is just to keep doing it until one of them goes to the Supreme Court, and then GG there. But what would happen if like what do you think the likelihood of that is?
we have to, because the only time we've really seen election decided via the Supreme Court was 2000. You know, to my knowledge, at least, or at least in modern history. And we have to look at the case in 2000. And the case in 2000 was, you know, it was even until Florida. And then what happened on election night is they thought Gore was going to win Florida. But then they thought Bush was going to win Florida. But then what was weird is that Florida had these ballot systems. And there were, you did like a push pin thing, so like it would like punch a hole, like a hole puncher almost. But some of the ballots didn't get fully punched. So they went through, they recounted, and they saw, oh, there's a lot of Gore ballots that didn't get like fully punched, but they look like they got punched. So they started counting those. And basically Bush's legal team was like, hey, that's unfair and unconstitutional. And the Florida Board of Elections was like, nah, we think it's fair. And then the Supreme Court was like, sorry, Chief, it ain't fair. So they basically what the Supreme Court said was, yeah, listen. Basically the majority opinion was like, listen, in theory, how you recounted the votes seems fair, but in practice, it's not. So we're gonna have you cast out all those ballots that you said were for Gore. The thing is, a lot of our ballots now are either done via like touchscreen computer thingy, or we bubble it in. Actually, 2000, I'm pretty sure, is the reason why we don't do levers or push pins anymore, because it's just too unreliable. You can't mess up like a fucking circle. So
we have a question in chat. I assume this has never happened, but what would happen if they called the election and then after all the counts were finished, it turned out that the other candidate actually got it?
I mean, that's kind of what happened in 2000.
Yeah. I mean, I assume what would happen is just the other candidate would get the votes, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
The decisions desk would be embarrassed and be like, oopsies.
Yeah.
Hee.
Our bad.
Our bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of these decisions desks are waiting to call certain states, because they just don't want to mess it up. And then, because I mean, it does ruin your reputation a lot.
Yeah.
I guess Fox News just doesn't care anymore.
Fox News does not have a reputation.
They're just like, yeah, fuck it. I mean, they're pretty accurate when it comes to election projections and stuff. I mean, even in 2018, they're pretty good.
But in terms of their like reputation as like a news outlet,
like,
they're already pretty fucked.
No, it's pretty funny, because usually on election nights, especially when Democrats are doing well, they'll project Democrats pretty fast, like we saw on our actual election night. And it will always be like the news anchor's like, that doesn't sound right. Let me go talk. In 2012, actually, the Fox News projection, the decision desk projected Ohio would go to Obama when like Obama was only ahead by like 2,000 votes, and Karla Rove just like lost his shit. So he sent like what's her name, Megyn Kelly, to go to the decision desk, and Megyn Kelly was like, hey, do you believe Karla Rove's assessment on Ohio? And they were just like, no, Ohio is going to Obama. And she was like, all right, well.
Plus the fact that it's a higher number of mail-in ballots. Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh,
is that like this year? Yeah. I think that's something that people are really failing to recognize. Is like, there's dipshits like fucking Chris Jericho. You don't know who that is, but he tweeted some shit like, does anybody else listen? I'm not a political person, he says after he donated thousands of dollars to the Trump campaign. But does anybody else find it weird that this year, for the first time ever in history, we have to wait days, maybe weeks, until we can find out who won the election? And everybody was like, first of all, Chris, 2000 happened.
Yeah.
Second of all, Chris, there's a fucking pandemic going on. So no, it's not really that weird.
Yeah.
Like, no one's really registering the fact that there are wildly different circumstances this year.
Yeah, I also saw another tweet that was basically like, yeah, if the Democrats are rigging this election, they're doing a really shitty job.
Yeah, really fucking bad job of rigging the election.
This is like a terrible rig, honestly.
Yeah. Still don't understand why it's taking so long to tally a bunch of fucking Scantrons. What you got, Matt?
Listen. apparently in Nevada, the reason why it's taking a bit is it's labor inducing, but also apparently they have to like verify their signatures differently. They have to verify their signatures by person instead of by computer. So I can imagine that takes a little bit longer. So that is probably why it's taking a while for Nevada to get results out. You can actually watch a live stream of them counting. And it was funny because like overnight, a lot of people went home and it was just this one dude counting votes at like 2 a.m. and everyone started feeling bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like Biden has like doubled his lead, and like he's about to reach 2% ahead of Trump. I mean, like I don't know. I'm shocked they haven't called Nevada yet. I just do not see Trump winning anywhere in Nevada.
Yeah, I don't know why they haven't called it because it's only like 84%, right? Or 87, I guess. But
it's 93.
Oh, 93?
Yeah.
It says 87 on the site that I'm looking at, or on Google.
I mean, according to New York Times, my source, and according to New York Times, Biden's up by 1.8 points to 22,000 votes. Like I just don't see it happening. He would have to pull a miracle. Oh, another update. There are still 102,000 mail ballots to be counted in Pennsylvania. Additionally, there are also at least 100,000 provisional ballots issued Tuesday that have yet to be counted.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, do you know what a provisional ballot is? Because I keep seeing it, and I'm honestly not sure.
Me neither, but we can look it up right now, live on this podcast.
Because I mean, yeah, if Biden keeps up his 70 to 80% win rate with the mail-in ballots, it's just
provisional ballot is used to record a vote when there are questions about a given voter's eligibility that must be resolved before the vote can count.
Huh? I get it, but like, huh?
Yeah. Like,
what would be questionable?
I don't know. Provisional ballots provide a way for people to vote whose voter registration or qualifications to vote are in question. Instead of turning away a voter, you can try to solve the issue if possible prior to giving the voter a provisional ballot. So I guess
that would have to favor Democrats.
Yeah, I guess that's on like
registration laws.
I guess that's on like election day.
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty sure Pennsylvania has same day registration if I'm not incorrect. Yeah. Unless they don't.
Yeah.
I know a lot of those Midwest states.
Yeah, or maybe there's like some fucking issue with the system or something, and they just
or like their driver's license is off. I don't know.
So it's like, hey, take this little guy, and then we'll check on you later.
Worst case scenario, it doesn't get counted, I guess. But like best case scenario, it does get counted.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that has to favor Democrats, like I said, with like voter registration laws and stuff.
Mm-hmm. That probably also protects people from getting voter fraud charges, right?
Yeah. Because I imagine, like, if anything's wrong, they just throw it away and you didn't vote, really.
Yeah. It's a good fucking system. Pretty fucking
Nate Cohn from the New York Times just posted on the latest update tab. The latest Arizona ballot releases aren't looking great for Trump. Biden just led Yuma's update. The problem for Trump, that's a place where he led the count up till now. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Let's look at Arizona. So Apache still has to get their votes in. I love how it's like all these like Latin American, Native American names named after counties, and then this fucking Graham. Like, it's just very out of character. Yeah, it's not really looking great for Trump, honestly.
No,
he's running up the tally in Maricopa, but just not by enough. Oh, new ballots from Clark County. That's Las Vegas. Yeah, I know. Expanded Biden's lead in Nevada. I'm not aware of the reason to believe that Trump can overcome his deficit in the state, says the New York Times.
Trump has been like losing his shit online, dude.
Yeah.
Trump has been going fucking insane.
He just doesn't know how to handle.
Yeah, no, he really doesn't. Apparently, like a lot of like White House insiders are saying he's like not well. And then you have Nazis like Nick Fuentes and other conservative dipshits that are saying shit like, please give the conservatives some time to take this L or something like that. And it's like, no thanks. Get out of the White House.
Bro, please just let us suck on some more copium. Please.
Oh my god. That was so fucking loud. Oh my god, this is a podcast. People are gonna listen to this. Gundas says fake news. I can always trust him to be our resident MAGA hat. Facts don't care about your feelings. No, the fuck they don't. I just cannot wait to give conservatives the same treatment that they have given us for the past 4 years.
You know that meme that came after Trump won of that person screaming like "No!" After Trump's inauguration.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to be Trump's.
I cannot wait, dude. This is so fucking yummy. It's so good.
Instead of them screaming no, it's just gonna be like Steven Crowder at like Biden's inauguration. He's gonna turn to the camera. This is the downfall of Western civilization.
But fucking Ben Shapiro is gonna move to like Israel or something.
Remember when did you see Ben Shapiro make a big deal that he's moving out of California?
Yeah. Somebody talked about that in one of the streams that we had. They were like, because of all the regulations that are going on in California, Ben Shapiro had to move out. And I was like, okay.
Okay. I actually watched it, and Ben Shapiro's just like, I am taking my $1 million in revenue and tax money, and I'm moving to Kentucky. And I'm just like, okay.
You're taking your fucking 5-person operation that's astroturfed by a bunch of like $1 billion corporations and going to Tennessee or something. Whatever. Cool, bro.
Yeah. And it's just like, you're telling that to like the 6th largest economy in the world.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro. Okay. Ben Shapiro, you're a big man, bro. Hey, you're 6 foot tall, bro. Fucking idiot.
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Can we please bring on Ben Shapiro? That'd be so funny.
Yeah, for sure. Next week.
All right. Yeah. I'll hit him up real quick.
This episode of the podcast is just going to be pretty chill. 21 minutes in, let me explain what it's going to be. We have been streaming all week. We have been on the motherfucking grind this week. We did the podcast with Jappy last week, and then 2 days later, last minute, we found out that we were doing a podcast with Qasim Rashid, so we spent all day prepping for that. Then we did the election night mega stream, which went on for 9 hours. So that was fun. And then just yesterday we were streaming as well. So we've been fucking packed. So we're just gonna take this moment just to chill out, just talk about some shit, some hopium, and move on with our lives.
I actually haven't minded the more smaller streams that we did, especially like yesterday and stuff. Or it was smaller for me.
Yeah, I was still streaming for like 3 hours.
Yeah. But like, yeah, the smaller kind of like, I guess it's easier with like an election stuff because
you have like content. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do like streaming. I like streaming a lot. Yeah. And I like it when we have like people in chat that we can talk to and stuff. It's fun. Streaming is a fun time.
Yeah, it makes it feel less like a chore almost sometimes.
Yeah, it's just like I'm chilling out, talking to some buddies, doing my thing.
Speaking about buddies, anything, not even just questions about the elections, just anything you want to talk about in general.
Yeah, anything.
I think I'll move the map out of the way.
Yeah, I did my little, I don't know if I'm going to post this separately because I rewatched it last night and I think it was like a little bit incoherent, but my points were still sound. I did like an Abigail Spanberger rant yesterday, just basically talking about basically Abigail Spanberger and like the DNC had like a call either last night or like a couple nights ago where they blamed their losses on progressives, on socialists, and on activists. They blamed it on they blamed their huge struggle this year not on their fundamental lack of awareness of the electorate or their inability to functionally challenge fascism, but on the activists in the streets who are actually telling the government exactly what they want from them while the Democrats fail to meet those expectations. So I did a little rant about that, and just to kind of recap that, basically, Abigail Spanberger, Nancy Pelosi, and all these other corporate establishment Dems are the old way of doing things, the old fucks who really don't really give a shit about anything but power. And it's really funny to see the moderates attribute their struggle this year to the people that are genuinely listening to what the people want and are trying to provide them with what they want, while people like Biden and Kamala just fucking work their way up the ladder that they built for themselves and destroyed for the other progressives. So can't wait to see Abigail Spanberger eat shit in the next couple years. Another interesting thing I saw was AOC had actually responded to all that, like a bunch of like progressives did. But AOC had a huge thread listing. She didn't even name Abigail Spanberger. She was just like, hey, there's talk about, like, people have been saying like this the progressives' fault that Democrats have been struggling, but here's what really happened. So she talked about how progressives have been doing better than all of the other Democrats, like all progressive incumbents, people who ran on the Green New Deal, healthcare, Medicare for all, and stuff like that. They all kept their seats by a pretty good margin. And just talking about like how the problem of like progressives doesn't really seem to be a real thing, and it's more so that the Democratic establishment is unable to recognize what the electorate actually needs. Like, for example, during a pandemic, the money that they spent on internet advertising was so minimal. Some of them spent none, and some of them didn't spend any up until like the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
During a pandemic, right? So she's like, essentially, you guys can't like keep doing things the old way and then blame the people that are doing things the new way, like the right way. And then people were like, wow, AOC, you're so divisive. This fighting within the Democratic Party needs to stop. Meanwhile, Abigail Spanberger is fucking living her life, and people, all the libs, of course, are like, wow, Abigail Spanberger has a wonderful point. It's just frustrating. But yeah, fuck her. Fuck the DNC.
Yeah, I do actually have something to add on to that. I think right now, obviously, that's not a good look for Abigail.
Yeah.
But I think right now, what the Democrats need to do, regardless of that, they need to kind of like almost like make amends in a sense, and like really get down together and be like, hey, we need to set a platform that is going to make us crush in the 2022 midterms. You know, they need to stop. I mean, like Nancy Pelosi needs to actually hear out AOC. And I do think AOC and the squad needs to at least, listen to the more moderate wing. Because, I mean, unfortunately, they are at least a big part of the Democratic Party. They need to listen to them. They don't have to agree with them. That's what I'm saying, And I do very much want to highlight the moderate wing should also listen to the squad. So, and I think that's what they really need. They need, because right now, what we're going to see in the next year, we're going to see some cultural shifts in the GOP, especially since Trump is on his way out, and people like Mitch McConnell is going to stay in and kind of distance themselves from Trump, because they tend to do that when a president loses.
Yeah,
usually a year or two after, they just kind of like go away. We don't want to be with you anymore. So, because you're going to get those always Trumpers in the more rural areas, and then you're going to get your traditional Republicans in the more suburban areas who are going to. And so, I mean, the GOP is going to experience some infighting. That's kind of inevitable at this point. So the Democrats really take an opportunity when they see it, run on at least a marginally progressive message, and then I think they'll be able to crush in the 2022 midterms, at least in the House. I'm not sure about the Senate. That one's really up in the air. But we have 2 years to see. Yeah.
Someone in chat says, in conclusion, the politicians need to start working for the people who elect them, not just for more power.
Yep.
Populism, perhaps?
No.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think the Democrats just need to look at what works, who works, and why they work, right? Because the progressive candidates have done way fucking better at building up a base than a lot of the moderates have done. And not only that, but progressive bills across the country, or even bills that tried to act progressive across the country, have done significantly better than anything else. I mean, the more like conservative a candidate has been, the worse they have seemed to do in terms of like Democrats. Like even in California, right? The whole like Prop 22, the thing with like the Uber drivers, where basically like they said Uber drivers will get more for their buck or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was. But all I remember is like it actually massively sets back Uber drivers, because it takes away their ability to like unionize or something, or organize, or
they're
something.
not employees anymore.
Yeah, they're independent contractors. You're right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's actually really bad for the Uber drivers. But
yeah,
these fucking companies like Uber and Lyft, and all these other big conglomerates have pumped in so much money. I believe it was the most money that has ever been spent on a proposition in California's history, convincing people that it's good for Uber drivers, convincing people that it's populist, and convincing people that it's something that they should vote for. Every single time you see conservatives that do successfully, or every single time like the right wing starts to kind of take power, they do it using progressive rhetoric. There's a reason for that. Progressive rhetoric is popular.
I mean, we can even just take a look at Florida, a state that Trump is poised to carry, but there may be a court case on that. I mean, they just passed a $15 minimum wage by 60%.
Yeah.
Like,
why do you think QAnon's like big issue in quotes is the pedophile shit, right? They could just be like, hey, Donald Trump is our Lord and Savior or whatever, but they need something. They need some sort of social issue. They need to make themselves feel better about themselves to latch onto it, right? And bottom line, socially, economically, any kind of progressive you can think of rallies people up. Obviously people do, but no like real person gets rallied behind the idea of us going back to the 1950s or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like economics or anything beyond like nostalgia. No real person gets rallied behind lowering the minimum wage or something.
I mean, to even bring a comparison back home, I need to look up his name real quick. We can compare two governor races. The most recent one with Northam. I'm not calling Northam like a huge progressive, but he definitely ran a more progressive campaign than people before him, especially his former governor, Terry McAuliffe. And I mean, Terry is like a huge, like just, your traditional liberal. But I mean, he only won the state by like a percentage or something. He won by like 20,000 votes, barely scratching it. And this was after Bob McDonnell came out and like was proven to launder money through his campaign. People didn't like Bob McDonnell anymore, or the GOP in Virginia. But I mean, Northam and then Ed Calepsy, who actually proved a challenge, who got his endorsement from Trump, which actually may sound his campaign. He got crushed by Northam. I think it was like Northam beat him by like 300,000 votes. And all Northam really ran on, he was just like, listen, I don't want a pipeline going through the Eastern Shore. Is that so hard to ask? I like green energy, And then Gillespie's just like, well, I don't know, jobs. And people are just like, you know what? I like this very skinny man. Put him in the governorship. So, yeah, I mean, like we can even see in Virginia, which is hello, Proto. We can see even in like governorships in a purple state like Virginia. I mean, progressive ideas are popular here. I think everyone is happy that the minimum wage is going up to $15 by 2026.
Yeah.
I mean, Virginia has had it hard since we've had the federal minimum wage for a while now. So, yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. That's all I got. You got anything else to spit about?
Oh, yeah.
Was it true that Northam or McAuliffe did blackface? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, Northam did. I don't think McAuliffe did.
I don't know about McAuliffe.
Actually, no, he didn't. He actually told Northam to resign.
Yeah. From what I was aware of, this doesn't excuse it in any way, but from what I was aware of, this was more kind of like who's the guy that directed Guardians of the Galaxy?
James Gunn.
This was kind of like the James Gunn situation, where it was more of an attack from the right than it was a genuine like resurfacing of this image or something like that. Which another thing, controversial images like this never just resurface. It's always some sort of attack.
Yeah.
But I mean, shit, he's done really good things for the community here. He's done some fucking. Yeah. We've been keeping an eye on him ever since then. I know me and Matt have like been looking out for him, like seeing what he's actually doing, because he didn't resign. So we were like, all right, well, let's see what's up, and he's been doing some good. Fuck him for that. But if a better candidate comes around, 100%. But until then, I mean, he's been doing good.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is because the Virginia Senate and House flipped blue in 2018, I think. So he was able to actually get things done.
Yeah.
I mean, that also kind of shows the power of what happens when you have a democratic government.
Dude, a supermajority is so good. Yeah. Having people that actually want to do shit is so nice.
Yeah. Most likely, actually, Justin Fairfax will probably be running for the next governor of Virginia. He's currently the lieutenant governor. So
that's all I got.
He's pretty similar to Northam. Okay. Yeah, and any questions from the audience, I guess?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm down to answer or talk to anything, honestly.
Probably going to play some games after this. I have a couple of games saved up.
Do you know what's really unfortunate?
What's up?
Sad news. What's his face? Weatherman for today. What's his name? Al Roker. He has prostate cancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Al Roker, dude?
Yeah.
That actually is, like, really disappointing. Oh, that's really sad.
Zoe told me this earlier, and it was shortly after like Pennsylvania flipped. I was like, we won, but at what cost?
Yeah, that's really sad. Well, best of luck to
Best of luck. Yeah,
He's
got it. Yeah, he's got it. He can't go like this.
Yeah, best of luck, buddy.
Oh wait, rapper King Von, 26, was shot and killed.
I don't know who King Von is, but R.I.P. to King Von.
R.I.P. And Leslie Jones is trending for a reason.
Why is Leslie Jones trending this time? I can't remember if I hate or like Leslie Jones.
She tweeted a video, "Fuck this dude, piece of shit," and it's just a video of Mitch McConnell speaking.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like a lot of people hate Leslie Jones, but they hate her because of racism and not because she's not very funny.
Yeah. She just wasn't that funny on SNL.
I don't think she was that good on SNL. She was better at like, she was one of those people that was better at like her stand up or like her appearances on like Weekend Update or something like that than she was in any of the actual skits.
Every time she would forget her lines.
Yeah. She's kind of like Pete Davidson, right? Like Pete Davidson is like, he wasn't very good in any of the skits. But
he's terrible.
His Weekend Update was fire, so.
Yeah, I remember I actually watched a SNL skit on YouTube, and oh wait, I think is the stream down because Zoe just hit rip.
Is it down or are we just lagging? If it's lagging, that might be because I think a game is downloading right now.
I mean, it's just buffering on my screen, unless you went to an ad break.
No, I didn't go to an ad break. I mean, we're still recording, so whatever.
Oh yeah. All right. But yeah, I remember Leslie Jones is having fun at the election.
I don't know what that means.
I guess that's why she's trending.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, I remember there was this one sketch of SNL on YouTube with Leslie Jones in it. She had one line, and she fucked it up.
Yeah.
And Drew Gooden even mentioned it, like she had one line and she messed it up somehow. And it was like, all right, fair enough.
Leslie Jones was never good in the skits, and she would always break. She would always break character. She could never once stay in character. My favorite is Kenan Thompson because he's never doing anything better with his career. He's stuck.
Yeah,
he's 100% stuck there.
Yeah, I think he's just accepted to this point. He's like, all right, I guess I'm just here.
Yeah, and everybody always makes fun of him because he's going nowhere else. Like he's got nowhere to go.
But he gets paid bank, so he doesn't care.
Yeah, no one's itching for Kenan Thompson, and I don't think Kenan Thompson is itching to go anywhere else. I think everyone is satisfied with this deal.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I'm fine.
Yeah. Anything else?
Anything else?
Nah.
I'll ask the chat one more time to see if they think they have anything else.
Doesn't look like it. All right. I mean,
that kept in with our time that we wanted to do.
Yeah, we did about 40 minutes. All right. Well, stream frozen. Whatever. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching the newest episode of the Zero Budget Podcast live. I have been your host, Juptej Singh. This has been my co-host, Matthew Hanks. Make sure to follow us on Twitch, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. I think that's all our links. Join our Discord. We have a Discord now. I'm pretty sure it's in our link tree on everything. But
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all the shit we've got. So we're gonna end this podcast. If you're watching live, don't go anywhere because we're not done. I'm gonna play some fucking games. But yeah, that's the podcast.
That's the podcast.
Guys.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.